You guys ready to start putting together your list for next week? Well, here are my top 10 comics that made the cut. Hey, all you webheads out there, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And fans, I'm your host, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to bring you my top 10 most anticipated comics. This is for February 26, 2020. That's right, fans. It's never too early to start your pull list for next week. And hopefully these top 10 comics that I provide for you help make you make decisions on what comic books to buy. And fans, at any time, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss any daily content from me. And guys, also, if you want to see some exclusive content, check out my Facebook group page called Comic Book Corner 2.0, Webheads Unite. It's a lot of fun. Go check it out. Become a member today. It's absolutely for free. All right, so let's not waste any time, guys, and let's get into this thing, shall we? We're going to kick it off with The Hot Seat, and this is the book where, you know, I might be on the fence about buying. I might buy it when I get to the shop. I might not. It's kind of like a impulse type of thing depending on what I buy. So the book that's on the hot seat this week goes to Star. This is issue 2. Now, this is the villain that was created for Captain Marvel, and she has possession of the Reality Stone. Now, my problem with this particular book is that the way Star treats the Reality Stone, she uses it more like the Mind Stone. She uses it to control people's minds and tries to make people do other things that they're not supposed to do. Shit, isn't the Reality Stone supposed to change reality? Isn't that what she has in possession? So I feel like the writing here is a little bit off, and you know, I wasn't really into the story, but depending on how many books I buy or how I feel that day, I might actually still pick it up and see if it redeems itself on issue 2. All right, so there you have it. There's the hot seat. So let's move on now to the top 10. And my number 10 book goes to Giant Size Jean Grey and Emma Frost. This is a giant size X-Men book. This is a $4.99 book. And, you know, this couldn't be higher on the list because it's not really an ongoing type of thing, but I love these two characters. I love Jean Grey. I love Emma Frost. And I can't wait to see the character interaction between these books, between these characters in this book. And when you've read X-Men in the past, we've got to see some interaction between these two, and it's been great. And I love, you know, how Emma Frost is kind of that bitchy character, and Jean Grey kind of gives it back to her, and they're kind of like, who's the more superior one? Who's going to get in bed with Scott Summers? It's that type of stuff that I want to see out of this book. Again, it's like 40 pages, something like that, $4.99. All right, next, moving on to number 9. And number 9, most anticipated book goes to Ant-Man. This is issue 2. Now, Ant-Man is a little bit more of a lighthearted book. It has artwork like almost like a Saturday morning cartoon, but I liked it. I thought it was fun. It was an enjoyable read. I didn't take it too seriously. I mean, this is Scott Lang, and you gotta like his humor here. Cassie's in here. And they have, at the end of the first issue, you wind up seeing like Swarm, and Ant-Man has to team up with Swarm to defeat these other like ant-like creatures, you know, or bug-like creatures. It was kind of cool, you know. We'll see where it goes from here. Do I continue this book for the long term? It's still yet to be determined. I'm curious to see what this opening story arc still has to offer for its readers, and if I will be continuing it going forward, but it is kind of fun. All right, moving on to number 8, and this is kind of like Iron Man 2020 tie-in. This is ForceWorks 2020 issue 1. Now, ForceWorks was a thing back, I think, in the late 90s or whatnot, and I didn't really read that much of it, but this has me, I'm anticipating this book because of its roster. It looks like it has It has Quake in there, and it has Mockingbird in there, and it's got Rhodey in there, and it's got Agent Shield in there, right? Or U.S. Agents, I'm sorry. And so it's got all those types of characters in it. So based off of the roster alone, it sounds like it could be an interesting book. Now, whether it's written well, whether the artwork is good, you know, it's still yet to be determined. But based off of the cover alone, it definitely is piquing my interest here. All right, so moving on to number 7. And number 7 goes to Jessica Jones' Blind Spot. We're on issue 4 at this point. Now, in this book, this has to do with possibly Mary Jane gone missing here. This book is really well written. Kelly Thompson writes it. This book has been released before in digital format and in trade paperback, but it's in single issues right now. However, at this point, I am really enjoying this series because I never read it, or I don't remember reading it, and I love the voice here of Jessica Jones. Kelly Thompson captures it perfect. Every time it comes out, it's just a great read. The last one I read had Elsa Bloodstone, and they were doing bashing some heads of themselves, and I love Elsa Bloodstone's, character in there as well. So again, all the characters are very well written here. So we'll see where it goes. This is number 7. So moving on to number 6. This is The Amazing Spider-Man, issue 40. This is being released on February 26th. And the last issue was really good as well, as this story arc continues to be about J. Jonah and Peter's relationship, on how their relationship is rough around the edges, even though they've kind of have made up. And it was great to see them do this podcast with each other, which I thought was a lot of fun. And then the person that kind of breaks into the podcast is Chance. And Chance was challenged by Foreigner to steal one of Spider-Man's web shooters, you know? And so there's this huge bet involved. And it's a fun story arc, and I like it. The only problem with Spider-Man is that the story of the Kindred thing is just being too drawn out. I say this every time Spider-Man, is being released. And again, I really have this theory that, Kindred won't be, announced for a very long time of who this character actually is. It probably won't be till Spencer's final arc, right? So we'll see what happens with Amazing Spider-Man, but this story arc right now is actually pretty good. Moving on to number 5, Webheads. We got Star Wars. This is issue 3. I like this title of Star Wars better than the last one because of the time period. And if you follow the time period between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, we get to see these characters go through all these different adventures that lead up to Return of the Jedi. Now, in this particular issue, we wind up getting to see Lando Calrissian. He's going to head back to Cloud City, and Cloud City is overrun now by the Empire, okay? So what does Lando Calrissian do while he's at Cloud City? What's the next adventure take our heroes? Where does Luke Skywalker go from here as he kind of feels lost on what path he should take? Should he follow his father? Should he follow the light side? Has the people around him that has been training him abandon him? There's a lot of questions to be answered here. Great series. Definitely recommend on picking it up. All right, next, moving on to number 4. And this goes to X-Force issue 8. Now, X-Force is so good, and I love how this series is really focused around Domino, on the things that she has been going through. This is almost like a Domino series, on its own, because we've seen Domino get captured. She's got skin torn off from those assassins from the Xeno group or whatever the heck they're called. And in this last issue, we wound up seeing her go through those memories, and we found out that someone is impersonating her. Someone has her good luck powers, and we witness people, or this person, shooting other people, and they're just really good with their shots and whatnot. And so she makes it this thing to go after this person, and we find out that it's a duplicate of her. It's like just like her, except opposite colors. Like, it's amazing. It's uncanny, right? It's so cool. You got cliffhanging with that last page of who this person actually could be. You know, it looks like her. It could be a clone. Who knows? It could be anything, but it really is a great book. It's so well written, and I can't wait to see actually what Percy has in store for Wolverine when when Wolverine comes out. So great stuff here from XForce, and I can't wait to see this mystery unravel when it comes to Domino here. All right, so moving on to the top 3, we have Batman: Curse of the White Knight. This is I think, what are we on, book 7 on this? Yeah, so this book is really well done, and the last issue of this one is where Harley had to do the toughest thing she's ever had to do. She had to kill Joker, and so not only does she kill the Joker, she kills Jack Napier. And if that's how you say his name. So that's how the book ended, okay, in the last issue. She feels like that's the only way she could be free of the Joker and everything of his influences and whatnot. And now she's stuck raising these kids, these twins, by herself. And the story here, what I'm really curious is like, does Bruce develop a relationship with Harley going forward here, or do they just continue to be friends? And what happens with the Wayne name? Because really the names were different based off of Azrael and Batman and all that kinds of stuff. Really good book. I think this one ends at book 8. So yeah, if you haven't checked this one out, you know, wait for it to come out and trade. It's a really well-written book by Sean Murphy. And the artwork is really well done, too. All right, next, moving on to number 2. This is DC's Suicide Squad. This is issue 3. Tom Taylor writes this book. Really well done. The only problem why this book can get number 1 as of yet is I don't have a particular character that I'm latched onto. Like, the character development's not quite there. We're only on issue 2. Give Tom Taylor time to develop these characters and for you to care about these characters, okay? We got a little bit of, like, King Shark and that other character, Finn, in the last issue, and then you wind up getting to see one of the new characters that was introduced that was supposed to protect this president. She winds up killing the president and setting things up to go south for our newly formed team of the Suicide Squad, which was a great cliffhanger. But the thing is again, it's a cool mission. It's cool how it kind of threw you for a loop, but there's no real character development yet. But it's kind of hard to get that in only 2 issues. So we'll see what happens there. All right, so my number 1 most anticipated book for February 26, 2020 goes to the Avengers Wastelands. This is issue 2, written by Ed Brisson. The lawn guys are starting. I need to finish. All right. So Avengers The Wastelands issue 2. This book was awesome, the first issue. We got to get caught up on what happened with Old Man Logan. Oh, God. I thought I started this early enough. With Old Man Logan, on how he passed away, how we got the new AntMan, how he actually protected Forge's compound, how he put it back together, and then it's being attacked by Doom. So we get Doom bots that attack our newly formed Avengers of the Wastelands, and they win their little battle against a Doom bot. And then what happens is we wind up seeing a brand new Captain America come, and we have no idea who this Captain America is, right? And you're just like, shit, because based off of the original Old Man Logan series, Captain America died. And so we have somebody new that has the shield, has the costume, and we pretty much have our newly formed Avengers here. So I can't wait for that one, and that is my most anticipated comic of the week. And so in the comments below, fans, I want to know what is your most anticipated comics of the week. And fans, if you want to check out some of this awesome other content that I have on the channel, I'll leave you these videos right here. And until next time, thank you so much for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. And this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. See you real soon, guys. Take care. Bye.